Hey guys, I'm gonna track down my shoes. How's everyone? Hey Africana, how are you, my friend? Nice to see you. Here we go. Step one, find the shoes. Step two, put on the shoes. If I feel really productive, I could say put on the right shoe, put on the left shoe is step one, step two, and three. So that would make me feel like I've accomplished three things so far. But hey, we're just gonna group them all together. Put on the shoes. Step two. All right, one to go. We're gonna wait to see who shows up, and then I'll dive into lesson five. Man, we're 5 days in. 5 days into the new year. 5 days into the course. Lesson five becomes very practical. I wrote about it this morning. Hey, Selma, you're up awful early. All right, I still don't have the shoe on yet, but I'm working on it. All right, if no one shows up, we will dive right into. Oh, I'm sorry, your tooth is broken. We'll dive right in. Yeah, I bet it hurts. I've had that happen before. Hey, sucker. We'll dive into lesson five. Like I said, for me, it seems lesson five starts to click. The other lessons become important later on. These lessons, these first few lessons, hey Anna, are about um, pulling back the curtains, parting the veil. But now we're going to have something very practical. It might not seem practical at first, but it is. Life Path 5, so this should resonate. Emma says, hi, Jack. Hey, Jack. Jack, how are you? Hey, Kenneth. Nice to see you so early. Really early for you. So let's go into lesson five, then maybe I'll read what I wrote this morning. Again, lesson five becomes very practical to me. When we go to, lesson four, these thoughts do not mean anything. That's really nice in a metaphorical sense, right? But unless you've been doing maybe some meditation, unless you have been doing some self inquiry, and if you're new to the course, it might not make as much sense to you. Of course, these thoughts, it's my thoughts that give meaning to everything, right? Not necessarily. Lesson three says, I do not understand anything I see. Lesson two, I have given everything I see all the meaning that it has for me. Um, Again, these are important. Lesson one, nothing I see means anything. These are important in their negation, how they're training us to take away our assumptions, take away the assumed meaning that we've given everything. Lesson five, again, does the same thing, but it starts to add a little bit. And it becomes very practical because you're going to get upset today. I don't know why. I don't know at whom. I don't know what situation. Maybe you're going to put on CNN, MSNBC. Maybe you're going to put on Fox News. Something's going to upset you. someone's going to trigger you, someone's going to push your button. If we can keep this in mind, things begin to change. I am never upset for the reason I think. Lesson 5. One more time. I am never upset, Pravi, for the reasons I think. For the reason I think. There's only one reason. This idea, like the preceding one, can be used with any person, situation, or event you think is causing you pain. I'm going to emphasize. Person, situation, or event you think is causing you pain. And yet, if we remember, these thoughts don't mean anything. Anyone I think is causing me pain. We're starting to get these little glimpses of freedom here. Apply it specifically to whatever you believe is the cause of your upset, using the description of the feeling in whatever term seems accurate to you. The upset may seem fear or worry, depression, anxiety, anger, hatred, jealousy, or any number of forms, all of which will be perceived as different than not. This is not true. However, until you learn that form does not matter, each form becomes a project. I got a fruit fly flying in front of my face. Until you learn that form does not matter, each form becomes a proper subject for the exercise for the day. Applying the same idea to each of them separately is the first step in ultimately recognizing they are all the same. We talked about this yesterday. When using the idea for today for a specific perceived cause of an upset in any form, use both the name of the form in which you see the upset and the cause in which you ascribe to it. For example, I am not angry at Joe, Susan, whoever, for the reason I think. I'm not angry at my neighbor for the reason I think, although they do take my brother's parking spot. I am not afraid of... Name something. For the reason I think. But again, this should not substitute for practice periods in which you first search your mind, becomes a little mindfulness exercise, self-inquiry. Search your mind for a period for the sources of upset in which you believe and forms of upset you think result. In these exercises, more than in any preceding ones, you may find it hard to be indiscriminate and to avoid giving greater weight to some subjects than to others. It might help to proceed the exercise with a statement. There are no small upsets. They are all equally disturbing to my peace of mind. There are no small upsets. Every single one that disturbs your peace of mind is as equal as any other. So in the ultimate sense, the diagnosis of a illness is as disturbing to your peace of mind as someone stealing your brother's parking spot or your parking spot. Doesn't seem that way now. Now, I'm saying that one might not have greater consequence than the other, but to your peace of mind, a disturbance is a disturbance. So then we examine our mind for whatever is distressing, regardless of how much or how little you think it is doing. You may also find yourself less willing to apply today's idea to some perceived sources of upset than to others. If this occurs, think first of this. I cannot keep this form of upset and let others go. For the purpose of this exercise, then, I will regard them as all the same. Then search your mind for no more than a minute or so and try to identify a number of different forms of upset that are disturbing you, regardless of the relative importance you may give them. Apply the idea for today to each of them, using the name of both the source of the upset as you perceive it and the feeling as you experience it. Further examples are, I am worried about going to war with Venezuela for the reason I am not worried about going to war with Venezuela for the reason I think. I am not depressed about divorce, separation, an argument for the reason that I think. 3 or 4 times during the day is enough. So this becomes very practical. This is what I wrote about this morning. Let me give you an AI overview, by the way, and then we'll dive into the chat. So the AI overview says, Course in Miracles, I am never upset for the reason I think means the specific person, event, or situation you blame for your pain, anger, fear, or worry isn't the true cause. Your distress actually stems from a deeper underlying belief in guilt, fear, or separation from God, which are projected outward onto those external triggers, with all upsets being variations of the same core illusion. This lesson teaches you to look past the superficial reason to the deeper internal cause, recognizing that these perceived triggers are just illusions covering your divine essence. So we get to choose peace. What a pretty awesome option. All right. I saw the cipher says, does the brain initiate the readiness for an action or thought before we even consciously aware, or we even choose to agree with it, act or integrate into our identity? It's a good question. Neuroscience has shown that there's a moment for me to raise my arm. I think that I had the thought that I said raise my arm, but neuroscience shows that the thought actually comes after my arm is already being risen. So who is the thinker? What's the brain have to do with it? If the brain is registering the event, fraction of a fraction of a fraction before it actually happens, what's actually going on here? And the answer to that is, I don't know. I don't know. Consciousness is the depth of consciousness is way beyond any of our understanding. Hey, Miss Flipper. Someone says, I agree with Sniper and Yogi as well. Well, thank you, Selma. Nice to see you, Praveen. I don't know if they're going to make much difference, Praveen. I appreciate that. I appreciate your support. My live shopping options. So I have some affiliates, but the affiliate links have little to do. None of these that I have here are affiliates. They're just things that I like promoting. I love a sunrise alarm clock. And of course, some books from Barnes & Noble dealing with Course in Miracles, both of which I own and endorse. Hey, Ellie. Any questions about lesson 5? 5 days in. Life gets exciting. Wait until we get past the first 50 lessons. Simple says, yes, Hunter. The thought is the aftermath, the memory of the action. Thanks for the unicorn vibe, Selma. So this is what I wrote concerning lesson 5. My own little 2 cents. Not even sure they're worth 2 cents. Triggers. Early in A Course in Miracles, just 5 days into the workbook lesson, and already the key to a peaceful mind presents itself to us. I am never upset for the reason I think. Of course, this takes time to truly understand, even longer for it to unfold through an actual practice in our lives. Decades into the course, and I can still convince myself that I know exactly why I am upset, and someone else is directly involved in this issue of distress. But I know better now. I don't take my own accusations towards people or events quite so seriously any longer, and more easily let them go in order to deeper. I gotta fix this little some typos. let them go in order to more deeply exploring the matter that's really at hand. The world is acting as my trigger. Every small irritation, all the way to a greater surge of anger, exposes the ego's agenda of keeping me small, separate, and alone. It's my fear being shown to me, my perception of another revealed as a projection. And now I get to heal. No lesson from the Course is more important than another. Each one is vital to a complete understanding and builds to a comprehensive practice. My life is a testament to this, with triggers still present and moments where blame, guilt, and loneliness are still involved, but not as much and never for very long, as these lessons come so quickly and easily to mind. At this point, it's all pretty seamless now. Just a little pressure on the trigger and the opportunity to ease this tension instantly makes itself known. What an incredible opportunity. I get to choose peace, and seamlessly, almost always, I do. Almost always. But I'm working on it. Zipper says, I'd buy a Captain Yogi Star Trek t-shirt. Let me see if I'm gonna see if I can find one. I don't know if um, Under Armour presents an option. Hey, Long John. Hey, Kenneth, are you still here? Hey, Hammer. Anyone else in the East Coast that has the phone internet service is sketchy the last 24 hours? I haven't noticed that. Elliot is back. Tiger King says, Ruben Morin sacked by Manchester United. I have no. Um, hey, if you want, uh, what's your take on lesson 5, Kenneth? Do you care to share? Someone says 100 people died because I saw the cemetery in my area. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Soma. Reverend Price says, lesson 5. Do you want to come up and go live? Um, I put the link in there. I don't always remember. Um, However you want to do it is completely up to you. The morning live streams are sort of um, however it unfolds is however it unfolds. Nothing's planned. This Pepper says, hello, Reverend Kenneth Price. Guys, do you remember Kenneth? He was up, I guess it might have been a little over a month ago. You know what? And I'm still diving into our conversation and making some shorts and some longer form content. And every time I dive in, I pull out another pearl of wisdom, another loving lesson. And it just unfolds so beautifully. Amazes me, diving back into the conversation, how much depth that our friends are offering. Miss Flipper says, I believe he and I are Facebook friends. Everyone should be Kenneth's Facebook friend. Everyone should be Miss Flipper's Facebook friend. Sissy says, so goodness, I bet you feel a little sad and I'm sending my love, Summit. Long just says she's okay. No, thank you, Kenneth. So, it's okay to be sad, Selma. You're with friends, and we love you. Hammer says, "Good morning. Good morning to you, my friend. Are you on the road, Hammer?" Today, by the way, at 1 o'clock, Bridget Lang is coming up. Kenneth says, sadness is a part of healing. Absolutely. Bridget Lang is a longtime student of um, Douglas Harding. Douglas Harding is the originator of the Headless Way, spontaneous experience of non dual um, reality, the seamless flow of God, seamless flow of reality. Barbara says, Course Miracles path will bring up a lot of emotions. Sure does. It still does. I'm good, Anna. Anna, how are you? Um, One day in the Himalayan mountains during World War II, Douglas Harding was he's pretty high up. Altitude has a way of changing our perspective, doesn't it? And he looked down. And he saw his legs, he saw his torso, and he kept looking up, and he did not see his head. This wasn't his first headless realization, but it was the most profound. He realized he did not have a head, which sounds ridiculous, right? Of course I have a head. How could I function without a head? But do you have proof that you have a head? Have you personally ever seen your own head? Now, right now, I'm looking in the camera and I see a head, but it's all the way over there. It's not where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be here. And when I look in this direction, when I look for my own head, I don't see anything. I see outlines of the glasses. I see a tip of a nose. Some days I can see a little bit of a mustache poking through. But where does that emerge from? Is it emerging from a head that I can't see? Or is it emerging from this pure, wide open capacity, emptiness, of which the entire universe comes into fruition? I see nothingness. And yet, within this nothingness, this entire room is appearing. If I were to look at you, you and I would be exchanging heads. My head over there, looking exactly like you, because it's the only head that I can see. Your head, sadly, I apologize, looking like this, because it's the only one that you can see. Kenneth says, as we dream the loss of our dream character, there will be a lot of emotions that will pass through. This is a hero's journey. I'm glad you're okay, Anna. The hero's journey, our mythic journey to who we truly are. Are you guys familiar with Joseph Campbell? Miss Pippa says there can be a happier dream. Miss Pippa and I talked about that yesterday. Sissy says a much happier dream. The key to remember, though, as happy as a dream can get, it's still a dream. Um, I have a guest this afternoon. Let's see. So, questions about headlessness? Question about um, lesson 5? There should be a sense of adventure diving into a course. For the first time, for the second time, for the third time after a lifetime, there should always be a sense of adventure that we are entering um, truly a sacred journey. As Kenneth said, that we are stepping on uh, the hero's path. We are the hero of the dream, but not the person that we think we are. We get to, man, start practicing the course, we get a great discovery about to reveal itself of who we truly are. But more importantly, I think, at least in a sense, at least in the initial phases, we realize who we're not. What a huge relief. It's a great feeling to realize who we are, right? A wonderful feeling. But the initial revelation, you mean I'm not my thoughts, I'm not my judgments, I'm not my grievances, my resentments, I'm not the smallness and pettiness that I've been offering the world? You mean I'm not that? You mean I'm not alone? Man, what a huge relief. Um, the end of the nightmare came out in my steampunk tarot deck this rising. So I'm loving the synchronicity yet again. Awesome. Uh, as far as I know, 1025 should work. Tiger King. Hey, Kundalini King, how are you, my friend? Kenneth says, a sense of adventure, yes. Sacred journey, yes. We are entering a place of the unknown, and where we will be met. We will be carried. It was my own discovery that surrender brought invited miracles. You know, Miss Flipper mentioned yesterday the ending of a course promised us, as Kenneth said, we will be met. We literally have light beings and angels surrounding us right now, this very moment. We are not alone. We're never alone. And when you step on the path, whatever the path might be for you, could be headlessness, could be, of course, miracles. You could be stepping on the path of the Tao, Buddhism, yoga, whatever it is. The Bhagavad Gita says, no effort upon the path is ever wasted. There's a reason why you're stepping on whatever spiritual path that you're on, because in previous versions of the script, you have stepped upon the path before. Hey, Adam. Kenneth says, all prophets, mystics, and wayshowers have walked this path ahead of us, and they left a trail of breadcrumbs. Jesus left us, of Course in Miracles, the path that is resonating with us this morning in this community. Beautifully said. Prophets, mystics, and wayshowers. Someone says, I love you guys. We love you too, Summer. I'm going to dive into Kenneth has inspired me. I will dive into our chat again when I get back from my walk before I work out and put up some more shorts. Give me 1 second. I'll offer you one of my favorite ones. I put a couple from James Plath, and I dove into my time with Timothy Freak. What I mentioned before that the favorite title that I've used in almost any short has been from Kenneth. How to be a field caterpillar. Check out the short. Kenneth will tell you how. Um, how to be a field caterpillar. I don't. Some of the shorts that I've been putting out, my nature shorts do fairly well. Um, some of the shorts from the live, they do okay. This particular one from Kenneth uh, has gotten a fair amount of views. I'm pretty happy about that because Kenneth has so much to share and he shares it so beautifully. Um, and most often in extremely poetic, resonating language. So let's see, we'll wrap things up in a little bit. Our morning talks are usually short. Lately, they've been going about an hour. We're about 37 minutes into it. Sippa says, tell the caterpillar for birth, it's just a worm, nothing else. Sorry if I missed some comments, guys. Long John, you still here? How are you doing? Thank you, Sissy. Sissy drops a link, guys. Make sure you check it out. I'm going to bring it up so I can watch after I get back from my walk. Kind of says, thank you, Eric. It said I shared what I need to learn. Every day it's failures, but in the Course of Miracles language, it's not a failure, it's surrender. It becomes the practice. Absolutely. Hey, Mir. And I love that. Kundalini King, thank you for being part of it. I got a bunch of beaver videos still. Uh, when I do my next one, I'll definitely put something out. I probably won't see my neighborhood beavers until, man, maybe February or March when the pond unfreezes. So I try to take the ones that I have. Same with like the owls. I try to just let them come out. It's almost like I'm hoarding them a little bit at a time. I don't want to use them all at once. Kenneth says, we simply say we have no idea and no clue. By surrendering to the admission, Spirit will download guidance, our own highly individualized curriculum. It's the path of bravery. I love that insight. Um, Path of bravery. It certainly is. No one wants to look at um, no one wants to look at the triggers as being our triggers. We don't even want to think of them as being triggers. We always say, "You triggered me. This situation, this event, this person triggered me." And yet, uh, kind of very nicely brings us back to lesson 5. I'm never upset for the reason I think. No one can truly trigger you. No one can put their imaginary thought finger on your imaginary thought trigger, right? Is that a possibility? No one can make you experience anything that you don't choose to experience, and we don't think it's a choice. This is why it takes bravery because, hey, if it's a choice, that means I'm responsible. And if I'm responsible, that absolutely sucks. I've been making myself miserable for 60 years. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, man, you're 60? Honestly, I thought you were 74. Uh, well, thank you for that thought. Yes, I am 60. Um, and all this time, it's been my responsibility. Here's the important thing to consider: it is your responsibility, but it's not your fault because you didn't know. But now, if you're even slightly curious about A Course in Miracles, guess what? Now you know. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to learn to meditate and begin to watch your thoughts? So you're going to practice self inquiry and ask, who am I? Until the silence of the answer actually reveals itself? Are you going to step on the path of A Course in Miracles, the path of miracles, where we ask, I would like to see things differently. We ask for a miracle, and the miracle is a shift of our perception. What's it going to be for you? But the secret is it will never change until you have that little willingness for things to change, until you do what Beth has been suggesting and you surrender. There's a pull to these insights. Otherwise, you would not be here. Kenneth says, lesson 5 sets in motion, help from behind the veil. Like you said, Eric, angels will download insights when we have the courage to stay present with lesson 5. Lesson 5. What do you guys think? What are you going to do? Are you going to examine why you're upset today? Because someone is graciously and kindly going to piss you off today. Someone is going to kick you in the shin, steal your parking lot, and poke you in the chest. Someone is going to look you in the eye and say, you are not worth it. You're unworthy. You're full of crap. Someone's going to do something. What a huge favor. As our friend Kenneth Fishman, loves to say, be grateful for your triggers. They are showing you the thought that you were choosing. They're showing you the teacher that you have chosen to reveal to you this lesson. Is it the ego? Well, guess what? You don't need the ego as a teacher anymore. You've had a lifetime of choosing the ego. Have you ever been happy with the results? True happiness, an unconditional happiness that lasts beyond that present gratification. In yoga, that would be called Priya. I might have these converse. Priya and Shira are instant gratification. Anger brings you instant gratification. You pissed me off and now I'm angry. Revenge brings you instant gratification. Eating fast food brings you instant gratification. Smoking a cigarette brings you instant gratification. However, Shira, that long term sense of worth, that long-term uh, gift that we are given, means that we delay that instant gratification for a moment so that reality can reveal itself. Reality is always love. Reality is always unconditional. So we can keep choosing the ego and get ego stuff, and it might seem very worth it in the short term, but sometimes not. Sometimes reality has a way of smacking us in the face right now. And if that happens, awesome. Now you get a chance to choose something else instantly, and there's only one other thing to choose because it's the only thing that's actually in existence itself. Love, Holy Spirit, God, the Tao, Buddha consciousness, Krishna reality. Seeing if I've missed anything from you guys yet. Mira, I hope you're doing well, my friend. Kundalini King says, Facing the Fire, Experiencing and Expressing Anger Appropriately by John Lee. I have not heard of that. However, we'll bring it up and see if I can find it, and I'll look at it later. John Lewis was a pretty amazing man. Marched with King. Give me 1 second, guys. All right. What do you think? Questions? Answers? You let me know. If not, we'll get ready to wrap things up. Hey, Daniel. Daniel, thanks for coming in, my friend. Kenneth says, I got to run to work now, Eric. Keep up the good work. Your platform is great. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you, Kenneth. Our friend, Reverend Kenneth Price, guys. Making a cameo behind the scenes. I always appreciate that. This is what the Course means by mighty companions. You're not alone. Kenneth was here lending his energy. Miss Pip says, ask 2 questions that flew away already. What do we got? Let me scroll upwards. Reezy says, trying to get some advice for my first date in over 4 years. Just rattling people's brains on here. Besides being myself, smelling good, and holding the doors for her. Any advice, tips? Well, I'm just really happy to hear smelling good as an option. Huh, I never considered that for me. This could explain a whole lot. Breezy, I don't really have any advice. It'll work out the way it's supposed to work out. Trust. Kundalini King says he wrote a song titled Ether. Is it on your channel? Can we find it? Sorry, I missed your questions, Miss Pepper. Adam says, I want to ask Miss Blipper. I went to question Miss Blipper. I asked Yogi in the chat to just give me a question and a something. Kundalini King says, my grandfather worked with Martin Luther King. Well, they worked to um, disintegrate. I know I'm mispronouncing that. The U.S. Postal Service. Sadly, there seems to be so much working behind the scenes to reintegrate everything that was put in place during those tumultuous years. Eugene Hicks says, "What are your thoughts on foundational Black Americans getting reparations?" I I don't really have any thoughts. I haven't. My mind has not wandered in that direction, so I don't know. Um, I think that better minds than mine, and the Black community have more significant answers than what I could offer, and I would defer to them. That's awesome, Kundalini King. Feel free to, hey, all of you guys, any one of you, feel free to drop a link to anything that you want to share. Breezy says, universe has a way of working things out. That advice in itself. Thank you. You're welcome, my friend. Enjoy the date. Have fun. The worst thing that can possibly happen is you have an opportunity to get to know someone and they get to know you. If it works out to be a short term relationship, nice. If it works out to be a long term, a lifetime relationship, awesome. Every single relationship, and we're always in a relationship with everyone we meet, is an opportunity for what the Course calls a holy relationship. A holy relationship is based upon the authenticity of who we really are and allowing that same gift to be recognized in someone else. We are giving them that holy instant of revelation. Who are you? Show me who you are. Give them the gift of being completely relaxed in your presence. You don't have to show me anything other than who you truly are. That's it. And in response, I show you who I am, who I really am. It doesn't mean giving away all your secrets at once. It means just being relaxed. Look beyond the surface. See the light. Give them the essence of the yogic salutation, namaste. The light in which I am recognizes and salutes the light in which you are. And we'll share this moment together, and whatever comes from this moment isn't our responsibility. It'll unfold as it unfolds. But in each and every moment, bless it. And bless the person you share it with. Long says, all we do is combat the ego, considering it's just fictitious. I love saying that word. Nonsense when we look at the ego through truth rather than perception. Awesome insight. Thank you, Kundalini King. What is our goal? It's up. I will watch it after the live, which is coming up in a minute. Hammer says, yes, I'm on the road. Prayers, my friend. Hammer, prayers for you. Be safe. Hopefully you have a few more days of this opportunity, making a little more income. I don't know yet, Tiger King. Can't give you a promise. But if we're free, if nothing's going on at 5:25, come on up. Come on up and say hi. All right, guys, it is almost 6. Lesson 5 done. Yep, on to lesson 6 tomorrow. Things really begin to gain momentum, a little more energy as we proceed. Lesson 6 is connected with this lesson. You'll see how one really flows into another. Everything starts making sense. Hopefully, I can do, again, I'm not offering you the practice, just an overview. I hope you guys dive in. Remember, you can read and listen to all of this absolutely for free online at the Foundation for Inner Peace, which is the original publisher of A Course in Miracles. There's other versions as well. The one that resonates with you is the perfect one that you need at this moment. I have always, always loved this version. I'm a Kenneth Wapnick, probably my greatest teacher in A Course in Miracles. Does it resonate with everyone? But he was there almost right at the beginning. And his work in editing was giving blessings of both of the scribes, Helen and Bill, as well as a few other people that were involved, as well as the blessing. Everything was consulted over with the voice that gave the course to begin with, which is the voice of God, the voice of Jesus. None of which you have to believe to gain the wisdom from the practice. Hey, Bob. Bob, how are you? Kundalini King says, My Course in Miracles arrives next week. First book purchase in 2026. Awesome. What an awesome choice. I have not yet bought a book this year, but I need to. Okay, Tanya King. Bob, thanks for coming in. Ellie says she might have to call a doctor back. It's been over an hour since I called, and they meant to call me back. Never hurts to be persistent with doctors. Hammer says, yeah, probably this week. Hey, I'm disappearing from public stuff, and the next day or so, we'll be deleting YouTube app from my phone. So we're not going to see you, Hammer? It would be a loss for me. I appreciate you being here, my friend. Bob says he's good. Sissy says she borrowed Angelic Realities by Ashana Dean again. I don't know that one. Good thing we know what to do with sock puppets. You thinking the same thing I am? Puppet show? We're gonna have a sock puppet show. I'm in, guys. Thank you, Environment. Every single one of my socks gets darned. I hold it up and I say, darn, it has a hole in it. I hold the other one up and I go, darn, this one has a hole in it too. Why do I believe in ignorant fairy tales? Ignorant fairy tales. It's a good question. I don't know. Why do you? Crusty sock puppets, no thanks. The sad thing is a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are people that we know who are sort of afraid to um, state what they would like under their better known account. You think he just fell out of a coconut tree? The thought has passed my mind a time or two. Sissy says, everything is an illusion. Even illusions are illusions. Can you do me a favor, Eric? Take Mod away, please. Tiger King, we've been through this. If you don't want to be a mod, you know, everyone likes you being here. Almost everyone likes you being here. I like you being here. If it's an issue being here, don't come back. I don't hold you here. I'm not forcing you to come here. I like you being here. I consider you a friend. But the only reason that you are a mod is because people kept disappearing you. And then you would send me messages saying, why am I hidden from your channel? This is a way to make sure that you're not hidden from the channel. But if you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here. It's okay. It's all okay, right? I will not track you down and find you and say, Tiger King, why aren't you here anymore? We will continue. We'll miss you, but we'll continue. How's that sound, my friend? Deborah says, that's risky, Tiger King. Someone says, I love being here so much. We love having you here, Selma. Bob says, I can't even get into a coconut tree. And that seems unfair because there are some people on some, deserted islands, they can actually make radios out of coconuts. They make clothing out of coconuts. We've all seen the coconut bikini uh, that they wore. Coconuts were like an all purpose utensil on that island. And then here our poor friend Bob can't even get into the tree, and I'm always falling out of it. Environment says we only recognize the illusion uh, if it's weird as hell. Interesting. I think for me, I started recognizing the illusion when Happy New Year to you, my friend Robin. I started recognizing it when it got sad as hell. Yep, you got us here with you. So if it says Tiger King, but then you risk being timed out by any mod or blocked altogether. This is true. It happens. It happens to Tiger King quite a bit. Tiger King, if you're not mod, you probably won't be here for long. Someone will time you out. The mod doesn't come with any special status. You know, I don't ask you to do anything. You have asked me to be mod 4 or 5 times, remember? So, my suggestion if you want to be here, relax, have fun, don't worry about it. Being a mod and not being a mod makes no difference to you whatsoever. The only reason you're really a mod right now is one, because you asked me to, and two, because someone will time you out. Someone will misunderstand what you're saying and they'll time you out. All right, I gotta go. 6:05. Long as it says Tiger King, you already gave you an answer. Where did that go? Oh, disappeared right in front of me. Zanzar comes in with a reference that completely goes over my head, so it loses whatever relevance it might have had. However, on another forum, on another channel, that probably would have killed, man. Probably would have been awesome. Happy New Year to you, Bob. Goodbye, Matt says, sorry, I meant hallucinations. We only recognize. Quick says, no hate like Christian hate. Anyone that disagrees with that gets silenced. Get this guy out of here. How dare him come in and say that? Ban him. Ban him quickly. Would probably what a Christian might say. I don't know. I'm not a Christian. Um, yeah, I don't imagine you do like the pain. Sorry, Selma. Oh, it says, get on your walk. That's excellent advice. 6 minutes. I got to get out there. Yep. All right, guys. Thanks for coming in. Today, 1 o'clock, Richard Lang. I'm excited about this. I discovered 2014 ish Douglas Harding on the Headless Way through um, a book on had a cat hair enter my mouth as I was talking. Uh, through a book on Tibetan Buddhism, how Tibetan Buddhism came to America, and it referenced Thomas Merton, who was a great Christian mystic. He went to Tibet and received direct transmission from a lama who could see that Thomas Merton did not have long for this world. And it referenced Dzogchen, which is the mystical pointing found in Tibetan Buddhism from Dzogchen. And that led me into a deep dive into Dzogchen, which led me to Sam Harris. Sam Harris referencing um, Douglas Harding and the Headless Way, which led me to search out Douglas Harding, and I just missed him. He passed away at the age, I believe, 97. But I discovered Richard Lang, one of his longtime students since 1970, and I sat in on some Zoom meetings with Richard, and he helped me point out my own headlessness, which is a direct revelation of who we actually are, ultimate reality, and that which springs forth from ultimate reality. You see the essence of the Heart Sutra, that emptiness is form, form is emptiness, and guess what? You get to live the rest of your life from that perspective. Anytime, any instant, it'll pop up. I see. I see. I look in this direction and I see. It's a wonderful experience. So it's been a continuous practice in my life since 2015, going on 11 years now, just about 11 years now. So come on by, hang out with us. Hey, Rach, I'm doing good, my friend. Tiger King, I'm not going back and forth with you. I'm not going back and forth with you. We're done doing this, okay? This is the way things are for now because I don't want to keep adding you and taking it away, adding you and taking it away. If you don't want to be here, walk away, okay? It's okay. No hard feelings. Just walk away. But I'm not going to keep going back and forth with you. We talking about the professor running off with Marianne? Something up with those two? Professor was pretty sly. Joseph says, how you feeling about my king, Lord, and Savior Trump. Well, that pretty much says quite a bit, doesn't it? See you, Tiger King. Sure, you can ask a question about meditation. I will stay for one more minute. It's got to be quick. Not that I'm forcing you to be quick. I don't want it to sound that way. It's just that I'm late. I got to head out. Adam says, Yogi, please read. Yogi's not bumping you anywhere. That's like asking him to spell your name with a small letter. Other people might be involved. Got to deal with issues, man. Thank you, Adam. Time for Breath of Fire. Awesome, sissy. Adam says, I'm looking forward to the day that my message gets blocked. One day. One day. Let's dream together, Adam. Big hugs to you, my friend. There we go. I used to meditate 6 months ago. I feel calm. I feel happy at the time. But now I yawn too much. Why I sit for meditation. What should I do? How to fix it? Turning it into a yawning meditation. Turn the yawning into meditation. Notice it. Be okay with it. And go back to whichever form of meditation that you're practicing. Don't make it a big deal. It's just a yawn. So do what Osho would suggest. Make a yawning meditation. It's a way of bringing in more oxygen into the body. You probably need it. You might be sleepy. It's okay. Whatever you experience during meditation is exactly what you need to experience during meditation. It's when we use it as a block. I can't meditate. I'm yawning. I can't meditate. I have thoughts. I can't meditate. I itch. It's all okay. It's better to yawn and go back to the object of your meditation than to turn it into a meditation on yawning. Allow yawning to be a natural expression of what's occurring in the moment without making it a story. That's our biggest issue. We make everything a story. Want to use an example with our friend Tiger King, making being a modest story. And then after he's blocked, he'll make not being a modest story. Let's just let the story go. Tiger King, the answer is no. How's that? The answer is no because I don't feel like doing it. How's that? The answer is no because I don't feel like reversing it later, the next time you ask me. How is that? The answer is no because I've already done this at least a dozen times with you. But how about this? The answer is just no. You're welcome, my friend. All right. Love you guys.